Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. So today we'll see one more important concept in our compiler design, that is a symbol table. So what exactly stores in the symbol table and what is the importance of symbol table, right? So in our previous session we have covered all the phases of a compiler. So lexical analyzer, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, intermediate code generator, code optimization and target code generation. So we have seen everything. And now the most important thing is the symbol table. Why I am saying it as an important means, if you remember our first sessions of compiler design, when we are teaching about different phases of a compiler, so for all the phases there is a common input given is a symbol table. So we have studied that the output of every phase will be the input for the next phase. So apart from that, for every phase of the compiler, the common input is a symbol table. So the most important thing. So we'll start the session by knowing what exactly means the symbol table and importance. Symbol table, as I said, it is a input for all phases of a compiler. So 6 phases we have studied. So for all phases the common input is a symbol table. So here the name itself indicates table. Table means it stores some information. So what kind of informations? So this symbol table, it is a data structure used to store, update and retrieve the information. So table means storing the information of identifiers in a program. So the complete information about the identifiers will be stored in the symbol table. So now what comes under this identifier? Okay, I hope everyone know that, but I'll recall it. So what comes with the identifier? So all user defined names, given for programming elements. So in our programming, while we are writing the program, so whatever the thing we are giving out a user defined names, that comes under the this identifiers. So example, variables. So for variables we are supposed to give the name. Okay, so we know the rules to be followed while giving the name. But variables, that means user gives the name for a variables. Similarly, constants, so user will give the constant names. Next, function names. So even the user defined function also will be supposed to give the names. Similarly, classes, coming to the object oriented programming, objects, etc. So like that, for any programming element, if the user gives the name, that comes under this identifier. So the keywords, operators, such type of symbols, those will not comes under the identifier. So this symbol table will be storing the information regarding all these things, only the identifiers. Now we'll see what are the fields of a symbol table. That means what kind of information we'll store regarding this identifier. Hope you understood this introduction. So information or entries of a symbol table. So the first one is a name of an identifier. So for every identifier there will be one name. Okay, so that name will be stored here. So it can be a variable or a constant or a function or a classes or objects, any kind of the identifier, the name should be given. And also some identifier will be having the values. So if you consider any variables or constants, definitely that will be having the values. So the next entry is a value. Next, type. So the data type. So if comes with the functions, so the return types. If comes with the variables and constants, the data type. Next, scope. So where it can be used, okay, in which part it can be used, the scope. Memory, so where it is saved, the location, okay. And line number, so line number in the program. So in a program, in which line the information, the identifier information, I mean the identifier belongs to, right? So declared. And function information. So function information means it will be having some parameters, okay. So parameters, return types, so all that information comes under this function, okay. And also storage classes. Storage classes, so there are different storage classes like auto, extern, register, right, static. So it also gives the storage class, what storage class it is. So it doesn't mean that for every identifier the complete information, all the entries will be there. Consider one variable, a variable or a constant. So a constant can have a name, value, type, scope, memory, line number. There is no function, storage class, okay. So like that, depends upon the identifier, the information will be stored. So for example, let us take int a is equal to 10, main function, int x equal to 20, float y is equal to 3.5. For example, let us consider this code. So that symbol table will be having name, type, value, memory, line number, storage class, or you can also consider scope. I'll write it, okay. So scope, line number, etc, etc. So for example, name is a, type, it is an integer, value, it is a 10, scope, so it was declared above the main function, so the scope will be global, okay, global. Line number, so let us take the line numbers. So what's the line number? It was declared at 1. Next, x, it is of integer, value is 20, scope, so within the local, so local scope within that function. And line number, it's a 4. Similarly, if you use a storage class, what is the storage class? Extern, here it will be extern, here it will be auto, okay, this here also auto. So like that, every information will be stored here. Why? So it is a float, it's a 3.5, and this is also local, and the line number is 5. So these are different entries, okay. Like this, the storage table will be stored, I mean the information about the identifiers will be stored in this storage, in this symbol table. So this is called as a symbol table. So here the symbol, it seems those are the identifiers, those are the identifiers. Now whatever the operations that can be performed on this particular symbol table, operations that can be performed, okay, what kind of operations that can be performed? Operations. So initially the symbol table will be empty, so we need to insert the new entries. So the first one, insert operation can be done, so it will insert the identifier information into the symbol table. Next, after insertion, so we can retrieve the data. So lookup means searching the entries, searching the variables, and then update. So sometimes the value of the variables can be updated, so then it should be updated in the symbol table also. Next, after completion of the scope, it will be removed. So delete operation. Delete operation. So operations that can be performed on a symbol table are insert, lookup, update, and delete. Delete. Okay. Now, how many ways we can implement this symbol table? So implementation steps. Implementation types. How many types we can be implemented? So it can be implemented by using hash tables. Hash tables. So different data structures that can implement the symbol table, right? Hash tables. Similarly, linked list, and then trees. Sometimes the trees. So in these three ways also the data, the symbol table can be implemented. Okay, so we have seen what are the entries of a symbol table and example, and then what are the operations that can be performed on a symbol table, and how many ways, what are the different data structures that can implement the symbol table. Now we will see what is the importance of symbol table in each and every phase. So we have studied around 6 phases. So in each and every phase, what is the importance of that symbol table? So role of symbol table. So what is the first phase? It is a lexical analyzer. Lexical analyzer. So in that lexical analyzer, so symbol table will be empty. So entries will be done. So all the initial entries of identifiers will be done, because in this lexical analyzer the complete program will be divided into different tokens. So in that the tokens will be considered as a lexemes, right? We have studied that one. So initial entries of identifiers will be done in this symbol table. So this is the role of a symbol table for this lexical analyzer. Next, syntax analysis. Syntax analysis. In the syntax analysis, so it will update the structure and relationship of the identifiers. Update structure and ships. So it will update the complete structure and relationships of our identifiers. So that is the role of a symbol table in syntax analysis. And coming to the semantic analysis. Semantic analysis, the role of this symbol table is a type checking. Type checking. So it will check all the type checking information. So whether all the variables has been declared or not. So if there are any variables which are undeclared, so then immediately some syntax error will be raised. Next, intermediate code generator. Intermediate code generator. So in this phase the symbol table will be used to generate the address calculation. Okay, so the role of this symbol table is used for calculating the address calculation for identifiers. Okay, next, code optimization. So we have discussed about this code optimization means in order to reduce the delay, that means making fast the execution time and reduce the variable usage. Okay, so the role of symbol table in code optimization is efficient usage of identifiers, particularly the variables and the constants, efficient usage. And the last one is a target code generation. And in this target code generation, this particular symbol table is used for mapping and generating the instructions. So what is the final step? That is the generation of instructions for a target machine, right? So target machine. So mapping and generation of target instructions is the role of symbol table in target code generation. So I think you remember the phases of a compiler. So we have written all these phases. We have written all these phases, and right side of this one will be the symbol table. So it will be the input for every phase. This will be input for every phase. And here also we have written one thing, that is a error handling. So if any error occur in any one of these phase, automatically some error will be raised by the compiler, that we are calling it as a syntax error. So this is a most important. This is the most important in a compiler designing. So that is a symbol table, which is a input, common input for every phase of a compiler. So finally we can say the symbol table stores and updates the information regarding the identifiers, right? So hope you understood this one, and I'll stop here. And if you really enjoyed the session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.